And by the way, Mika, when there is a New York Post article that is false, it's much better for Twitter to let people read the New York Post article and sit there and laugh at the hokey story of a computer repairman looking at a computer going, this sure does look suspicious to me. I'm going to call Rudy Giuliani. Like, let that out, okay? Because people will read this story and then they'll go, this is really one of the stupidest October surprises I've ever seen before. What did he have, X-ray vision?
Oh, my Lord.
I mean, Joe Scarborough is an embarrassment. I can't believe this guy used to consider himself to be on the right. Not very smart, not very nice, not very ethical, none of those things. But now he does the little dance to have coins thrown at his feet by Democrats, for Democrats. But he's the real conservative. I mean, this is really like a mental illness, but he's laughing about this Hunter Biden story. What's funny about it exactly? What does not add up? If these emails were fake, guess what the first thing is that would come out from the campaign and everyone else? In fact, it would be a great trap, wouldn't it? Let the New York Post print this. Let them destroy their credibility. Do they really think that the Post didn't do any due diligence on this beforehand? I know they keep referring to it as a tabloid, but the New York Post has some great writers, and it has been around since 1801 when it was founded by Alexander Hamilton, the oldest continuously running newspaper in the country. So they can scoff and laugh at it all they want, but what's not true here? And let's also remember, not that I would ever put these two papers in the same category, but it was, in fact, the National Enquirer, and the libs have completely memory hold this. They never want to talk about this because it's so embarrassing. It was the National Enquirer that broke the very true and very real story of that slimeball, John Edwards, who only cheats on his cancer-stricken wife when she's in remission, folks. Those were his words. Yeah. Only while she was in remission. What a sweetheart he is. Wife's dying of cancer. He's going out on the side, but, he waited till there was a remission period. What a good guy. Real ethical ambulance chaser he was. Vice presidential candidate for the Democrats. A lot of people wanted him to be president on the Democrat side because those are the kinds of people the Democrats want to put forward. Bill Clinton, John Edwards, and now we're seeing Joe Biden. Oh, yeah. He's quite a story, isn't he? So Scarborough's laughing. I want to know what's so funny because everything so far completely adds up. Oh, I'm sorry. Hunter Biden, who does crack in the back room of a strip club and impregnates a stripper. There's a whole lot of, I think you could call it bad judgment involved in these things. Okay, putting it mildly. And again, I don't like going after somebody who's clearly a casualty, man. I mean, this guy's got problems, got a drug problem and everything else. But this is where we are. I mean, they're holding up Joe Biden as some kind of paragon of virtue different from Trump, when in reality, Trump actually made his money in business. So did his family members and in media. Biden makes his money, the Bidens make their money by selling access to public office through the person of Joe Biden. That's what we're seeing. That's what's actually playing out before us. So people are laughing about the story and how fake it is. There's nothing fake that we've seen about this so far at all. What's fake? Hunter Biden left a laptop that he wanted fixed, and he left it behind because he didn't care. Does anyone think that Hunter Biden has good information security protocols in place? Does anyone think that this guy who got kicked out of the Navy for smoking some crack or whatever it was, some kind of a drug, that he makes good judgment calls, that he understands how to keep himself out of trouble? No one believes that. So what part of Hunter Biden leaving behind his laptop beyond the 90 days, at which point it becomes the property of the place that has it, how does that not add up? No, it's completely credible. And in fact, you'll recall that it was really happenstance that led Hillary Clinton's email homebrew server. That wasn't supposed to come out. Right? That wasn't supposed to be a thing that anybody figured out. It goes into the Benghazi hearings and grabbing the emails, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, what? Who's emailing where? What's this email address that comes up? Hillary Clinton's homebrew server discovered by accident, by sheer happenstance. And she almost got away with it. But I also want to remind you of, because you should tie these things together in your mind. Why did Hillary Clinton set up the homebrew server? Because she wanted to have control over her email record, her unclassified email record. It wasn't about sending classified to people or anything like that. It was about, she wanted to make sure that she could pick and choose what emails would be part of the FOIA record of her time as Secretary of State, because all it takes is one dumbass who doesn't understand, don't, say, so to speak, the quiet part out loud. In this case, it would be writing it, where you say, hey, Hillary, I'm representing, the Prince of Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of princes there, but, Prince so-and-so, Prince Mohammed bin something or other of Saudi Arabia. And, we wrote that big check to you. Where's our meeting? It doesn't even have to be illegal. It just has to be embarrassing. Oh, you mean the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton Global Initiative money that was being sent that dropped off a cliff when Hillary lost the election because all of a sudden charity doesn't matter, as if we can't connect the dots here. That money wasn't all just upfront bribery to Hillary, her global charity, quote unquote, and her family and her brand. All it takes is one email that makes clear what we can all see, and now you got a real problem. That's why Hillary set up the homebrew server. Look at what we're seeing now with Hunter Biden. An email trail putting out there for everyone to see now. Now, he wasn't FOIA-able because he wasn't in public office, but this is what Hillary was trying to avoid. All it takes is one email that says the scheme in writing. And then you have a really hard time saying, what do you mean we're peddling influence? There's no influence peddling going on here. No, the influence peddling is obvious, in fact. It could not be more clear. And that's where we are now. So here's what happened with, we talked yesterday about the Burisma situation. And there's messages that make clear Hunter was trying to set up a meeting. And today, there's more stuff from the New York Post, which has the emails. And for people who are pretending, what's his name? Joe Scarborough, complete buffoon. He acts like this is such an implausible thing to be an October surprise at this point. Does anyone remember how it was that the Hillary email case got reopened right before the election? By James Comey, no less. It was because Huma Abedin was also using a laptop that Anthony federal sex criminal Weiner was using, and some of the Hillary emails were on the Weiner laptop. That's right. The Weiner laptop was a thing that influenced American political destiny. You can't count Weiner out. That's for sure. That guy somehow stayed relevant, even by accident, long after his political career was done. But so how is this not falling in line with exactly what we've seen in the past? Well, here's today's New York Post story. And, in a fair world, I think awards are silly. I think trophies, maybe for sporting events when you win the championship, it's kind of a nice visual for people. But, come on, trophies, awards, come on. But I would, if awards mattered, they should get a Pulitzer for the New York Post should for what they're breaking here. They certainly would if they were. Oh, we're going to get into all the excuses for why it's not real and the suppression techniques of big tech in a moment. But let's first look at what the news story today is. And the laptop that was dropped off, Joe Scarborough says that it's not plausible this guy would just give it to Rudy Giuliani. Why not? People have come to me with information in the past that listen to me, that trust me. They've given me stuff. I've had confidential stuff that I've never run with, that I've never used, and that was real. This happens all the time. I thought this was journalism. I'm not a journalist, but I thought that that's what we considered this. And all of a sudden, the prohibition on stolen information, pretty much the biggest news stories that papers like the Washington Post and the New York Times have ever done has been illegally obtained stolen information. Biggest news stories they've ever done. Now, all of a sudden, they have a problem with it. Now, all of a sudden, it's, whoa, hold on. This stuff was hacked. It wasn't hacked. No. If you give somebody access to your computer, they've got access to your computer and the contents thereof. That's not hacking. That's You being a dumbass, Hunter. Sorry. This is very clear. But let's go to the story, because I've always thought that the China connection was going to be a bigger problem for Hunter and for the whole Biden thing, even than what we've seen with Burisma, just because the money there it's so much bigger, and China is a real concern. We've spent all this time, because of the lib delusions around Russia, we spent all this time worried about what are we going to do about Russia. Russia's not a threat to the U.S. Russia's not, they can be a problem on some foreign policy issues, but it's not a long-term challenge for us that we have to really be concerned about. It's certainly not a great power challenge anymore. China absolutely is. It's the only one. And so access peddling that involves anything Chinese government related, which means anything Chinese state enterprise related in the business sector, that is a big national security concern. That does feel like policy, U.S. foreign policy up for sale. Here's the New York Post story today. Hunter Biden pursued lucrative deals involving China's largest private energy company, including one that he said would be interesting for me and my family, according to emails obtained by the Post. One email sent to Biden on May 13, 2017, with the subject line expectations, included details of remuneration packages for 6 people involved in an unspecified business venture. Biden was identified as chair, vice chair, depending on agreement with CEFC, in apparent reference to the former Shanghai-based conglomerate CEFC China Energy Company. His pay was pegged at $850, and the email also noted that Hunter has some office expectations he will elaborate. In addition, the email outlined a provisional agreement under which 80% of the equity or shares in the new company would be split equally among 4 people, whose initials correspond to the sender and 3 recipients, with H apparently referring to Biden. The deal also listed 10 Jim and 10 held by H for the big guy. Neither Jim nor the big guy was identified further. Oh, I'm just wondering. Does anybody want to take a guess at who H, Hunter, refers to as the big guy? Because I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's Andre the Giant. R.I.P. I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to put on my thinking cap for a moment. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Daddy. Former Vice President of the United States, the would-be next President of the United States, if you believe all the polls out there right now, and certainly what the Democrats desire. 10 for Jim, 10 held by the big guy. So 10 points, 10 percentage points, it seems, of this deal. That could be a lot. Remuneration packages. Let's see what we have here. We have $850 for Hunter, $500 for this guy, James. $850,000 salary is a lot of money. Who is paying Hunter Biden $850,000 for his role in some Chinese private equity deal? Someone who wants to buy access to the vice president. We're not idiots. We see exactly what's going on here. Why is Hunter flying on Air Force Two? This is the adult child of the vice president going on trips with him to China, and it wasn't to take photos at the Great Wall and eat some good dim sum. That's not what was happening. There's so much here, friends. The media caught in yet another depraved lying session. They went to the mat for Hunter Biden. There's nothing here. Yeah. Now we've got the emails.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.